And thank you, Mr. Ross, for being here today. I represent the 7th Congressional District of Texas in Houston, and we are no strangers to pollution when it comes to our waterways. Just this year, we had a major incident when a chemical fire at the Intercontinental Terminals Company raged so uncontrollably that a containment dike failed, spilling countless chemicals into the Houston Ship Channel, and the evidence suggests all the way into Galveston Bay. And this hasn't been the only chemical spill that we've seen recently. In 2014, as you know, a chemical storage facility in West Virginia released an estimated 10,000 gallons of coal processing chemicals upstream of a drinking water intake pipe that left more than 300,000 residents without drinking water for more than a week. Despite these events and the general risk associated with them, the Trump administration EPA recommended no new requirements under the Clean Water Act to prevent the release of hazardous substances or to require public notification. And earlier this month, EPA reversed its 2016 decision to issue new rules to safeguard against the release of hazardous substances into local water bodies and drinking water sources. I would like to know why the decision to the determination that it wasn't necessary to look at the hazardous substances earlier this month, why that took place and what data led your agency to make that determination.
Well, so that is actually rulemaking that's out of our Office of Lands and Emergency Management, and so they ran the rulemaking, so I can't speak to the specific detail in the decision-making. I'm aware that they did take a look at some of the former chemical spills and took a look at the scope of authority that the agencies have, for example, under my program, and NPDES permitting, or under the enforcement program to go after those spills. They took a look at 9 common areas and decided that based on the scope of our existing authorities, they have the ability to manage it. But as far as specific decision-making, that is not my program, and I really should, I'd have to defer to Peter Wright, who's the AA of that office.
Well, you would agree with me, would you not, that the public has the right to know when their water has been contaminated by chemicals or compromised by chemical release?
Yeah, and we have the community right to know, lots of notifications. The state have notification requirements, and so a lot of the notification is built into our existing systems.
So how many spills have there been since the Charleston incident that have been severe enough to contaminate local water sources?
I don't have that data.
It's my understanding that there have been approximately 600 chemical spills in the last 3 years. Have you heard that number?
No, that's not my program, so I haven't focused on that specific data.
Okay. Do you agree with me that it's important, if there have been, let's just assume that that number is correct, that it was 600 spills in the last 3 years, do you agree with me that additional measures to reduce or eliminate chemical spills would be an important thing to protect public drinking water?
I would have to take a look at the causes of the spill, the response action, and things like that, so I can't speculate.
Do you know whether the existing EPA programs have caught or been able to identify those chemical spills through the programs that you previously described?
Again, that would be for another office to answer those questions, and I'm happy to take those back and have questions for the record.
Yeah, I think it would be helpful to get answers to those questions. Certainly, some of my colleagues have talked about concerns that residents have about PFAS chemicals, PFOA. That's certainly true in Texas. We are attuned to that as well, and I think that what we are concerned about is accountability and making sure that we have the information. As you know, the ITC chemical fire raised serious concerns about our air quality, but also water quality, and that has a lasting impact. And so we have a heightened awareness about the potential risks of chemicals in our water, and request that you get that information back to us so that we can take the appropriate action to make sure that public drinking water is safe and that public health is prioritized. And with that, I will yield back.
Thank you, Representative Fletcher.